Imagine a country where jobs are plentiful and families can get ahead. A country where veterans are treated with dignity and respect. A country so powerful, terrorism is in retreat. Our families safe. A country run by a leader whose career was built on success. A leader who isn't beholden to special interests, but to the people themselves. Make America great again. Donald Trump for president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Blog Talk Radio.
Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Lynda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/authorchat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Sunday evening edition of the Author Chat Show. I'm your host, Lynda D. Brown. My guest today is author Michelle Cornwell-Jordan. This is Michelle's, I believe, third time on the show. Woohoo! So she's one of our regular contributors. And she's here to discuss, and for those of you that remember Michelle the first time she came on the show, the first or second time, she is a great author. She does a lot of YA novels. She has a vampire book series, the School Night series. She just started a brand new YA series, and she has a new thriller out. So we have a very prolific author that's going to come on and discuss with us her books, how she got on Walmart, and that's going to be really interesting for a lot of you authors that are listening to the show. And also, Michelle also has her own radio show. So we'll be right back to chat with Michelle about everything that she's involved in after a word from today's sponsor.
PrimeStar Publicity and Public Relations is a full-service firm ready to fill the needs of their clients. Owner Helen Cook has more than 32 years of publicity, public relations, advertising, and marketing experience, and she focuses her professional talents on working with her clients' strengths to create customized, strategic campaigns, whether their needs are great or small. Radio, TV, print, internet, publicity, marketing, creating a social media presence, branding, client positioning, author tours, speaking events. These are just some of the services PrimeStar provides for their clients. For a complete list of services and other information about the company, please visit our website, www.primestarpublicity.com, or email Helen at helen.cook@primestarpublicity.com, or phone 903-654-0938. PrimeStar's home office is located in the Houston, Texas area.
All right, welcome back to the show. For those of you who are just tuning in, my guest today, returning for her third appearance on the Author Chat Show, is author Michelle Cornwell-Jordan. Michelle is a young adult, new adult author. Her titles include the teen paranormal novella series, Night School Vampire Hunter Trilogy, her full-length novel, teen fantasy, The Dystopian Chrysalis. That's a new adult novelette. Her gothic romance, Tormentin', and I really have to talk to her about that. That's brand new. And a contribution to the Her Story anthology. Michelle, welcome back to the show, sweetie. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me back. I love chatting with you, so it's an honor.
Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you. We love having you on the show. You are the type of author that we look at as an example for brand new authors, what you need to do in order to get your name out there, promote your brand. You just have to keep pushing, keep putting
keep at it.
Information out there. Michelle, for those that have maybe this is their first time catching you on the show, why don't we get started with you telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, I think you pretty much covered it. I'm Michelle Cornwell-Jordan. I am a young adult, new adult author, and I write specifically in the speculative fiction field, which covers paranormal, steampunk, fantasy, and I tend to write dark fiction or dark fantasy. There's always a little bit of, that's something else in it. At the moment, I do have 11 titles out. I have 3 shorts in various with different publishers. They're anthologies. I have a new one coming out, actually, The Rear Window, which is coming out in the upcoming anthology. And I'm so honored. The upcoming anthology from Brown Girl Books and Single Mama Dating Drama. But mine is was one of my very few contemporaries. But it has a retro taint to it, a retro slant. It's based on The Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock. So I'm really excited about that one. So that's what's coming up as well. So, but I'm just I love science fiction. I love fantasy. I'm a classic movie geek, and that's pretty much everything about me.
Okay. And how long have you been writing, Michelle?
Okay. Well, I've been writing, I would say, pretty much, and I know you've heard this before all of my life, but I really became serious about it in 2011. That was more so, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to get it done. I'm going to do it now. And that is when I really connected with the online writing community and start putting my work out there and start viewing myself and putting myself out there as an author. And it's been a growing experience. So I'm going to say really seriously for the last 6 years. Okay.
And once you started writing, you then kind of actually her writing took her into, just like me, took her into a whole new career path as a podcaster. Tell us about your show, Indie Review, behind the scenes.
Oh, yes. And that was just so incredible, I've always enjoyed talking. I'm a talker, as you can tell. And I knew that one of the things that authors needed was a author platform. And so I just somewhat looked at the things that I was interested in. And one of them was always radio. I was in the radio, on the college radio. At my college, I was on the radio staff. Okay. And so I said, I've always really wanted to do this. And so I found Blog Talk, and I said, okay. And so I was able to get my very, very first guest. And then it went from there. Jamie White. I used to actually follow her. This is before I knew her really, really well on Twitter. And I loved everything that she always talks about books, and she always spoke about music. And those were my 2 passions, And she always posted this really cool, all these cool things about the 80s. And I was like, oh, she's just so fun. So I actually just took a chance. Everything I did was jumping. I just took a chance and asked, hey, would you like to, I've got this podcast happening because I think I had it was about a month or so of podcast under my belt, and she came on in. We started I started March 2012, and she came in about maybe a month or so later, and we've been doing it ever since. We're going on 5 years, and since then we've had authors. We started out as a platform for indie authors because there was, to me, in 2011, that's when there was still a chasm, a schism there, between the indies and the traditionals, and there wasn't, to me, a real platform for them, and for us, and so I said, well, this is an awesome way for us to shine light. So we started, and then we both like music, so I started reaching out to indie musicians, and I would also have that on my blog every Monday when I spotlight a indie musician, and so it just went from word of mouth. It went, and then we were featured, I think about 3 times on Blog Talk, and we've hit 100,000 listens. 100,000 listens, 100,000 plus listens since March, and March 2012, and that's still small potatoes, to many, but to me, we're like, woo, awesome. We can't believe anybody would come and listen to us chat, but they do, and they come and listen to the awesome authors that we have on there and the musicians, and it's fun. We're having a good time. And we're still going. And we have actually blossomed into 5 segments now. We still have the weekend edition. That's myself and Jamie. Then on Wednesday nights, once a month, we have the Writing Corner with C.P. Bialois. He gives tips and techniques on writing and techniques. Then once a month, it depends on the month. That's what I'm saying this. We have on Thursdays, The Darker Side of Romance with the author Rhonda Caudill. And she chats with authors and that have more of the darker fiction or spicier writings, more erotic or whatever. And then there's Jamie. She does one. Also, Culture Shocked. And so we chat about everything that's in indie-tainment is how we put it. So it's grown and it's blossomed.
I love that, indie-tainment. And that's exactly what we are. That is so awesome, Michelle. I have seen you guys grow from starting your indie review right after I almost started my Author Chat show, because I think I started in around 2011 with the Author Chat show, and it's just a testament to what you can do without thinking that you have to be a part of a big, huge corporation.
Right.
I tell people all the time that the Internet has been the great equalizer.
It is.
Excuse me. It has allowed those of us that have had talent and dreams that were unfortunately not fulfilled because maybe, excuse me, we didn't have the right connections, the right educational backgrounds or whatever, but now you have no excuse whatsoever not to get out here and do what it is that you have always wanted to do. Now, Michelle, I didn't get a chance to ask you, excuse me, I've got this horrible cold I can't get rid of. I didn't get a chance to ask you before the show started if you have a copy of your book in front of you. You even amazed me when I was putting your promos together for this show. I realized that you just actually released a new book. So which one do you have in front of you, and which one would you like to read an excerpt from?
Oh, you just surprised me.
I know. I didn't
my goodness.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
That is okay. But, I mean, you know what I could do is maybe pull something out of my hat in just a few minutes. How about that?
I know. Well, I tell
and
you
I'll
what.
do tormenting. I'm going to do tormenting.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a minute to find out where you want to read from while I take a quick commercial break. and then that'll give you enough time because I was hoping you would read from that one because that one is really piqued my interest. All right, so guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with author Michelle Cornwell-Jordan. She's going to read an excerpt from her brand new book. I don't even think it's been released yet. Has it been released yet, Michelle?
Oh, yes. It was released in April from Crushing Hearts, Black Butterfly. Yes.
Oh, okay, great. So it has been released, but this is a brand new one from Michelle Cornwell-Jordan. We'll be right back to hear an excerpt from her book, and it's called Tormentin', correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after word from today's sponsor.
Prime Star Publicity and Public Relations is a full-service firm ready to fill the needs of their clients. Owner Helen Cook has more than 32 years of publicity, public relations, advertising, and marketing experience, and she focuses her professional talents on working with her clients' strengths to create customized, strategic campaigns, whether their needs are great or small. Radio, TV, print, internet, publicity, marketing, creating a social media presence, branding, client positioning, author tours, speaking events. These are just some of the services Prime Star provides for their clients. For a complete list of services and other information about the company, please visit our website, www.primestarpublicity.com, or email Helen at helen.cook@primestarpublicity.com, or phone 903-654-0938. Prime Star's home office is located in the Houston, Texas area.
All right, we're back with author Michelle Cornwell-Jordan, who is about to read an excerpt from her book, her brand new release called Tormentin'. Go ahead, Michelle, tell us what page and what chapter you're reading from.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm actually on my handy dandy Kindle here, so it's 19%.
Okay.
So there's page numbers, but I'm in the second chapter. And I'm pretty much starting midway in the second chapter. This is, well, without giving too many spoilers. The story is about a young woman named Sarah. Well, her name is Melissa, and she is a writer, and she's going to a writer conference in New Orleans, and it's at this beautiful old-fashioned hotel. So, but once she enters, she gets the feeling that she's been there before, and all these really strange things happen, and she just feels a little bit disoriented. Cut scene, then we also learned that there used to be a family that lived in this particular, it used to be a homestead, an actual home, and she was told a story of how the couple that was there, Seraphine and Emile, the husband disappeared one night, thought to have been murdered, and the wife had remained in the house until she was an old woman and died, heartbroken. This is a paranormal, and so we hear from Emile. He is not a ghost. He is trapped in the house, but it's almost in a different dimension somewhat. It's a little strange until you read it. So this is when Emile has awaken up, because he goes into these black outings. His mind, he'll black out and he'll come back, and so this is where we are. The last thing he saw was Isadora's black eyes peering at him. His final conscious thought was of Seraphine. He then saw her face and heard the words, "Emile, I will find you." Then the blackness took him. Over the next 100 years, Emile came to realize, after much disorientation, that he was imprisoned in his home. Isadora raved he would remember the date he scorned her, she vowing he would live only that date in 1811. He couldn't leave the house, and no one else could enter except Isadora. She had come over the years, but as he continued to rebuff her and the world began changing, gaining much of her attention, she came less and less. Although she refused to release him from his prison, he always wondered, released to what? Was he dead or alive? Emile knew he was in a different dimension, but connected to the real world. He could see the same house, his house, in another time where the events and years progressed. He saw when his love arrived home, feeling relieved. Feeling relieved she was alive, safe. He saw the preceding years, Seraphine refusing to leave the house, aging, which to him meant she had grown lovelier the older she became. He watched her die. The pain of not being able to hold her in his arms almost drove him mad. He tried to kill himself, but nothing would work, not hanging or poison. Here he remained a shadow. He had begged Isadora to kill him since she hated him so. He looked into her ever-youthful face, confirming all the rumors of her otherworldly heritage. I do not hate you. I wait for you to forget, she had stated simply. Then Emile understood. Isadora wanted him alive, to have the pain of seeing Seraphine's death, of one day forgetting and then turning to her. You will burn in hell first, which before I will ever fill you with my seed. Sorry, guys, it's a little bit racy. The shock of pain and black fury was the last thing he saw on the hoodoo woman's face before blackness overtook him again. He didn't awaken until the 20th century. By that time, his beloved home had been turned into a hotel, and he watched the various goings-on. He soon discovered those who were sensitive could feel his presence, and rumors abounded of haunting. Emile felt only emptiness inside, while Isadora made rare appearances, which suited him. He reveled in the moments he did not have to see her face. But one face haunted him, large brown eyes, cafe au latte skin, tumbles of soft auburn hair which shimmered with golden highlights in the sunlight, and lush, full curves. Seraphine was the one who haunted his days and nights. He remembered the words he heard, I will find you, and thought of all the stories of soul ties. He sheltered and nurtured the hope he would see her again. Year after year passed, and he learned the new customs. He believed if he ever escaped, that he could survive in the present world fine after listening in and observing those who frequented the hotel. While he never saw her face, he sensed her spirit. Disheartened, he had welcomed the blackness which overtook him a last time after Seraphine died, preferring oblivion to pain. Upon awakening in the present and regaining his senses, Emile could feel her once again. He peered through the thin veil separating his time from the present world, and he saw his beloved. He knew it was her. She had the same cinnamon skin and dark hair gleamed with bits of gold under the artificial light he knew was electricity. She had the same full curves covered in the present-day garb. Emile had her guessed in the more current years called jeans, leggings, which hugged her body, and a simple button-down shirt. He had seen the look on her face when she saw his portrait, a portrait he had painted himself. He had tried to touch her, stretching the veil like a skin. Even though he brushed her cheek, he couldn't feel her flesh. There had been a jolt of electricity when he touched her. From the beginning, the two had shared a passion which could not be met by another's arms. Their bodies seemed whole when together. He watched her, looking at his portrait, while he remembered their kisses and embrace. The desire to hold her in his arms were overwhelming the day he first saw her arrive in the hotel. Soon she had left and went to speak to the desk clerk. He began to feel uneasy and was unsure why. He can usually sense Isadora's presence, but he had been gone for so long, and the staggering feelings from seeing and being close to Seraphine made him fear his sensitivity to the witch was dulled. He couldn't bear the thought of her in danger. He would protect her in whatever way he could, even if it meant taking his and that demoness's soul to hell. And that's a little excerpt about Emile. It's a romance, paranormal, guys. This is for a new adult, older. This is my first new adult, not my YA.
Okay. Exactly.
Yes.
But first of all, wonderful story. So I like the fact, Michelle, that you're definitely exploring different genres to write in. Again, something that if you were a traditional published author, it might be a little difficult to, a little more difficult to break into different genres. Have you decided which one you have a preference for, YA, adult?
Well,
any preference there?
You know, I chatted with an author friend of mine, and I loved how because I asked her the same thing. And one of the things she says is that she is striving to write a good story. You know, she doesn't want to be branded as a horror writer or a romance writer or this writer. She wants her readers to know her name. And when they see her name, they know they're going to get a good story. That is my goal. If I really look at myself, I would simply say speculative fiction, because speculative fiction covers paranormal, steampunk, science fiction, and fantasy. And those are all the ones I dabble in, as well as historical, alternative history. So I would say I'm a speculative history writer. Now, will I stick with, I think I'm progressing. I started just full out young adult, YA, and that goes everyone from, I'm going to say, maybe 13 to 18. I still tend to write that, but I have begun to evolve more so writing for an older group, anywhere from 18 to 25, or adults. And I have just now recently started that in the last year. So I think I'm just going to write both. It just depends on how the story presents itself to me. It just really depends on the story.
Okay, all right. And you just had something wonderful happen with your YA vampire series. Would you mind telling us what happened with that?
Oh, my gosh. I am so excited about that. That is, okay, I'm going to say this, everyone. My very, very first foray out here series is Night School Vampire Hunter, which there are 3 novellas, and I placed them in a compilation, a collection called School Nights. And they are my babies. I love those characters. I always keep coming back to those characters. And I really don't know why. I'm just so drawn to them because I just believe in them. I believe that they will find their audience for them. I believe that they will have that audience that's going to follow their adventures because they have so many stories to tell. They are my babies. I love these characters. So in saying that, I've just ventured out in an indie production. I was so honored because I actually started this 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, I had a wonderful cast. It was a different cast. Well, I have a couple of the same ones, but it was a different cast, different location. It was actually a different story out of the world of Night School. And but I could not locate a filmmaker or a videographer. And so I was like, oh my goodness, because it is an indie project. It is a indie film, an indie production. But I wanted, those in the field that, even though I wanted to contact an independent videographer or production company, I wanted it professional. And I just could not find one that would take the project. I mean, basically that was it. So I said, I'm going to film it myself, and I will find an editor, a very good editor. So I did 3 years ago. And then we edited, and it was not the best, but it was an awesome beta. It was an awesome beta of a version because I tried it. Fast forward 3 years later, I had people constantly, different people in family, and maybe I knew online, they said, well, are you going to make a movie? I have had so many people ask, are you going to make a movie off of Night School? I used to have it when I first released it, and I never forget, I was so honored. When I worked, as a director of an after-school program, and we had a local filmmaker come in. She wasn't able to do it, but she was working with another group of my kids, and she says, this is going to make a good movie. And when I was talking to her about my books. So I always held on to that. And then again, like I said, I tried, and then so I had shelved the idea, and people kept asking, and I don't know. So finally, it was just placed in my heart because my daughter is now in college, her first year. She is a dance major, but she wants to minor in theater. And so I was like, this would be a good project because we also had contact with other young people that would also like to start their own career in entertainment and acting and things like that. And just as I felt with the radio podcast where I wanted to give a platform for writers, I was like, you know what? A lot of us adults who are either getting started late in life or like as you said at the beginning, we never had that opportunity. They needed someone to give them an opportunity, and they needed to give someone to give them a professional opportunity that they can put on their, they call it a reel, basically their portfolio, so as they go on in life. So I said, okay, we're going to try this again. So it's a different story. It's not the actual movie based on school nights, but it's an offshoot because by this time I'm also firmly in love with steampunk. So I said, why not take my characters, my Angel, my Raphael, my Elin, those were the one of the three of the originals from the story, the books, and bring them with new characters into a steampunk or alternative history world. And because that's combining my two loves, because I love these characters and I love steampunk. And it's worked with the storyline. And because I was thinking, well, no, night school is firmly paranormal. So how am I going to do that? But it worked with alternative history. So basically what is happening, we are doing God bless, and I was able to be connected, and it was just so serendipitous. I just happened to be in a writer workshop, and there was one of our members, he is a filmmaker, but, he was working on his own project, and he mentioned another, Logan Gilpin, with Under the Tower Productions. He's a local independent. He has his own production company, and he's awesome. He does film projects for our museum, the Dallas-Fort Worth Museum here in town. He did work for NBC and music videos and all of these things. And I was like, 3 years ago I couldn't get anybody to take on this, and so I'm just going to go ahead and approach him with this. Okay, right. Exactly. But you know what? I do believe that God has his hands in it, and he didn't ask my opinion. So I did. I just took the jump, and I asked. And, with different details worked out, he took it upon, he's doing it. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So I was like, I've got the filmmaker. But the cast I had last time, they've moved. They're older now because a lot of them were in their 20s or they've moved on or they couldn't do it. But I still had a few of them, so I still have Angel. Angel's actually my daughter, and a couple of her friends. And I was able to find my Raphael through the Lincoln Talent Agency. He's through an actual agency. He's agency represented, and I was like, oh, my goodness, a lot of the things that I'm experiencing putting together this video, I would not have known to do 3 years ago. Exactly. And also my focus has changed. Yes, I do, because now out of this, a new series is coming with my characters, but it's steampunk or alternative histories. So the the purpose of the video is to introduce everyone to the new book series. It's going to be approximately about an hour, and it's going to what is happening. The characters are Angel, Raphael, and Elin. They're with the Alliance. Everything that happened in book 1, 2, and 3. In 3, I am giving a little spoiler. There was an incident, and even though the world was saved, some bad guys got out. So fast forward to the Chronicles, which is what the video is introducing. The Alliance Chronicles is showing these beings going out to round up the bad guys.
Okay.
I'm going to have to stop you
there because this thing will actually cut you off, and I won't be able to have a chance to say this. Michelle, quickly tell our listening audience how they can connect with you online.
Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. I thought this was an hour show. I apologize. You can just find me on Facebook, Michelle Cornwell-Jordan, or Twitter at MCJordan37. I'm so sorry. I would have made it quicker. I thought it was an hour. I apologize.
That's quite all right. Just 30 minutes goes by so quick it takes everybody, including myself, by surprise. But, Michelle, we wish you all the best. And can I tell you, while I was listening to you talk about how you found your books on Walmart, I just went on Walmart and just happened to type my name in there, and guess what? How to convert your book into a how to convert your published book into an audio book is on the Walmart site. Yay!
That is awesome. Yes.
That is
very
awesome.
cool.
Yes, Michelle, when you finish that book, please let me know so we can have you come back on the show. And actually, it's so funny that you mentioned trying to do more in the video filming of what we're doing, because I think that's just natural for us. We're writing the stories, so why not start producing and directing so that we can then bring those stories from print because check it out, with live streaming, YouTube doing live streaming. Now we have opened up that gate. There is no reason that any author that has published a book, and I have said this on my Facebook page to so many, I'm talking best-selling traditional authors that have had great books out there, but none of them have been turned into movies. Well, guess what? You've got Amazon Studios now. So I want you guys to check out Amazon Studios. It's a great place to work with them to, once you have your film project ready, submit it to them. They'll put it on Amazon. You can sell it and become an Amazon seller. Also, awesome. Michelle, another thing I want to quickly bring up is I know here I'm in the St. Louis, Missouri area, and we do have a St. Louis Film Festival organization. So you guys might want to check in your area if there's some type of a local film, television organization that can help you bring your stories to life. I think in this next season, that's exactly what all of us should be looking at.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And thank you. That's a great tip about the Amazon Studios. I did not know about that. So,
yes,
awesome.
Check that out. Oh, yeah. Especially I'm telling you, with your vampire series, that should go over huge.
I'm excited about that. Yes,
exactly. Yes. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for coming on our show today. Again, we wish you all the best with everything that you're doing. And like I said, keep me informed of what you're doing. We'll have you come back on the show, because it's authors like you who started off had a passion to write a book, and now look what she's doing, guys. If we can do it, anybody can do it. So we're here to try to help you do that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I really wish you the best. Not a problem. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And for those that are listening, while I have Michelle still on the phone, I actually have the excerpt that's from the book she wrote, Tormentin', and that's T as in Tom, Ourmentin, A House of, is that Scipion?
House of Scipion novella, yes.
Scipion novella, okay. It's available in Kindle for $2.99. And Michelle, while I have you on the phone, I just want to put it out there. As an author, I like to promote my books too. I just released a book, Blood Moon, Return of the Giants, that I would love to come and promote on your show. So we'll talk about that.
We would love to do that. We can chat about it after the show, and we can come up with a date.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay, sounds like a plan. All right, guys, listen, thanks so much for tuning in to today's show. We'll catch you guys back here next week on the Author Chat Show. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. I'll email you, Michelle. Bye-bye.
All right. I've already PM'd you, so
all right,
we can chat there. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything!
You heard the speech. But behind the glitter lies this stark truth. In Hillary Clinton's America, things get worse. Under her dishonest plan, taxes keep rising, terrorism spreads. Washington insiders remain in control. Americans losing their jobs, homes, and hope. In Donald Trump's America, people are put back to work. Our families are safe. The American dream achievable again. Change that makes America great again.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.